Hi everyone, it's Rensler. We are back in the Let's Play. Let's go. Let's not waste time. Let's not dilly-dally, as some would say. Let's take a look at our inventory. 22. That's not enough.
Inventory full.
Inventory's full. That's good. I need it to be full, actually. The hitching should go away pretty soon. Apparently, the game does not do that awesome in the beginning until it's loading more of the level into RAM, and that's just a thing that happens naturally. So, we are going to weld up more of the floor, and then we need to weld up more of the ceiling. So we're on that. So how's everybody doing today? You guys are awesome, wonderful. Hit me up with things in the comments, things that you want to see. I have had a blast doing this series. I'm happy to finally be putting out content again. Producing content for everybody is fun and enjoyable. And I was a streamer for a while. And just realistically, it wasn't growing, and that's primarily because I wasn't multi-platform. So this is me trying to branch out at least into YouTube, let people understand what my personality is like, so they don't have to catch me live. You can watch these whenever you decide. We're just about done getting this floor ready. We'll just get all the way to the side here. So what are the plans? Right? Where is all of this going? Well, let's dig into that. So right now we're building a base. Primary floor is what we're standing on. We've got two blocks of height, which is 5 meters. That's plenty of height because we've got vaulted ceilings, like I said, because we're bougie. And then we've got a logistics layer above that. So above that we'll have the ceiling, and on the top of that ceiling will be our solar array. This right now, this form factor might just be the size of the floor. I might extend it out that way a little bit, but we won't have to go too much bigger because we'll have a little battery room, and we'll have a spot for the fabricator eventually and a few other things. But we want to start with build a landing pad. And the landing pad obviously will be for the ship that we are going to build. Trying to fly around with the jetpack is just not conducive to productivity. You can get a lot more productivity by just building a small, decent ship. We can grind out things like ore. We can do lots and lots and lots of things with it. So that is what we will do, right? So we're going to pick on 6 here. That's 5, okay. So we'll go here, and we go up like that's excellent. Right. Okay. Oh, the plane feature is great. Sometimes it does what it wants to do, and you know that's all right. That's all right. And we should be able to do this. Now, not always does this work. We will see if it does. Okay. So we're getting the initial system design done, right? Should be 4 blocks, yeah. And that's what this is going to look like, right? Excellent. It is so nice when stuff just works. There we go. Okay. But over here, we're going to have an opening here because we're going to have a walkway out here. And we'll put it out just like that. Excellent. Which also means that this will need to go just like this. Yep, just like that. Excellent, 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 excellent. Okay, and we design this, and we go up like that. Hooray! It actually works. Wonderful. Now I want to make this cool. So I have decided, and also because my brain is saying, wait a second there, bud. And I said, what? And it says, this is a landing pad for ships. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Don't make it easy to hit. And I say, oh. It is easy to strike something when it's that tall and that close. And brain goes, yeah. Did you think of that, genius? And I said, no. And it said, that's right. That's why I'm talking to you right now. Okay. And there. That stays. And that stays. Cool. Okay. So that way, that way, that way, that way. Yep. 5. Bam, bam, bam. We'll sort out the rest of it later, but this is basically how it's going to look. Okay, cool. Angles. It's not just giant blocks. Look at that. Look at us being fancy and all that. Okay, so this has to be a large landing pad. Okay, large landing pad. Here we go. So we've got 5. So this is the middle block. So it automatically cannot be an even number of blocks. It will be odd. That's just how it is. Okay. So we know, nope. We know it's going to be 5. I'm thinking it should be 9. So 7. And then 9. Okay, so that's 9. And of course it will have bang. Nope. I don't know what you're doing. So it'd be 9. 1, 2, 3. I don't know how far out you have to go to have the... Hi, sun. How are you? It's the sun. Can I turn on... Can I turn on symmetry?
Suit energy low.
Okay. Suit energy is low, so we will go fuel up before we die. Nice. All right, so we get rid of that. We get rid of that. Okay. So 1, 2. Okay. So it's 9. So 9 is going to be a box. So it's 9 by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. So this is the center bit. So boom, boom, boom. We're gonna do that. Okay. But since we don't do those, and we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is what it looks like. Because it's 9, and then 5, and then 9. It'll be that, and that. 9, 5, 9. Sure. Fine by me. Okay, and then we take this guy here. Like that. Like that. And like that. Then this, this, this. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, like the Superman thing. Sure. The inside square is going to be 9 by 9. Whatever. Yep. Should have known that was coming, because it's not real. None of it's real. That's funny as hell. All right. All right, how many? All right. You decided to watch the Let's Play, so you get to watch the long version of it. This is the actual long version of it. And in fact, we're going to have to go back to the Gear Forge at some point and find out what the area welder requires. And yes, also eventually, we will have to have enough iron to actually... Oh, I'm out. To actually weld all these. Speaking of that, how's our drill doing? Hey, bud. How we doing? You have been working so diligently. Okay. All right, so... All right, we can move the drill. I mean, we can deploy another drill. We're going to have to, but... All right. Let's go over here and see if there's any... Oh, okay. Oh, that's right where I already was. So I've drilled that out. Yeah, I've drilled that out. Silicone, silicone. All right. Okay, well, the fast way of doing this, honestly, is just take the existing drill that we have and make it bigger. What is it, as they say? Go big or just order fast food? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Okay, so K, piston, okay. Can we make? I don't think we can make groups yet. That's all right. This rotor. Don't rotate. The drills, they're fine. I was not aware that the rotor creates a separate grid, but that makes sense. Okay. I don't know why I'm framing. Let's see. Unload that. Do this. All right. I don't know why we're really just low frame rate today. Yeah, we're going to change our settings real quick. Nope. Seems it might just be a heavy game. Who knows? I don't know why my system's behaving this way, but it's whatever. My system far exceeds the requirements for the game. Any number of things are possible. Let's just be real. Okay, well, that's whatever. So I need 4 drills. What do I need for drills? Well, I know that I'm going to need 9. 1, 2, 3. And then a 4. And a 7. And then a 1, 2, 3, a 4, and a 7. Yeah, buddy. We are all about that life, you know? 9, 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 7. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, and a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 7. And on the side that we may not get too much out of, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 7. So many mats, but that's okay because I can just go right back here. I need steel plates and tubes. So 3, 6, 12, 18, 24. I need at least 48 tubes. And I need 4 tubes. Okay. All right. Fine. So inventory. Tube. Okay. I need more than that. That's all right. Production. I need 100 plates. I need 100. Cool. While that's doing that, weld all these things up. So how's everybody doing? This weekend we have a coffee party coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun. And my data's been sold again, so I'm getting random spam calls. I've launched a business that does Google Business Profile Optimization, especially for local businesses, but I'll honestly help out anybody. And I'm short on plates. And I'm getting so many spam calls a day. They're obviously scammers. I've already put in a request to my cell phone provider to just block them without sending. I don't really know how much that's going to do. Yeah, I need more plates. Production. I need 200 plates. Can I just type in a custom value? Okay, well this will get better over time. It's fine. That'll get better over time. And we'll try to make, once we get access to the, this is what I can talk about. Once we get access to some of the programmatic portions of the game, and what do I mean by that? Inventory management is a lot of it. So I want something that will show me on LCD screens the status of things, how much power I have, how much battery power I have, a lot of things where I don't have to get into a screen of any kind. I can use my dude, and in the world, in the game itself, not the UI, I can see status of stuff. You can't do that yet. It's early access. I mean, come on. It's a functional alpha. It says alpha in the top left. We don't need the frame stuff in there anymore. It says alpha in the top left, right? They're still working on it. There's no hate here. They're still working on the game, okay? So a lot of times I just need to, simmer down a little bit, right? I don't need, what? I don't need that. Hey, Mr. Cargo, take that. I don't need those. And when they do that, because what I want is, I want par levels. Now, if you have worked in a bar, you know what a par level is, which means, okay, a par level for alcohol in a bar is this, right? I know that on any given day of the week, we could go through 2 bottles of Smirnoff vodka, let's say, okay? I'm not a Smirnoff drinker, whatever. So your par level means at the beginning of any given day, you, the manager, the owner, the whatever, require 2 bottles of that vodka available always at the beginning of that day. Say, look, we really, really super believe we're going to be going through all of this. So I want to have a certain amount. I always want to have this much. That is a par level. So when you look at what do I have, and let's say it's half of one bottle, and you're the person ordering stuff for the next day. Okay, fine, normal. You're the one that says, okay, we clearly don't have enough, so how many do I have to order to get above or at our par level? 14 compressors. 2, I have 8. Okay, so that's 80, that's 112 compressors total. That's not a big deal. That's fine. Okay. So production, where are they? Okay. Compressors. Need 112. So what you would do is you would buy those bottles. You would make sure that you always have that much, right? And what I want to do that with is my inventory of various things here in our base. I always want 1,000 steel plates available. Always. I always want 100 compressors. I always want this many radio control modules and batteries and so on and so on and so on. And then the systems, as long as they have the resources available, they'll just make it. They'll just do it, right? Okay, so looks like we're short on copper. Okay. So let's go get the system a little bit of copper, okay? Silicone and nickel and cobalt and iron. Copper. I haven't mined this one yet. I'm just using the area clearing mechanism right now. Oh. I did have a way down. All right. I ended up running into it. All right, fine. Now, some of these are so deep that trying to build infrastructure and all that to get down here with stairs and everything else seems kind of dumb and a waste of time. Which is why part of what I would do is I would mine out a section like this, and I would build a floor, and then I would build a vehicle, and I would use that vehicle to stay at this depth, and I would just drive around with the mining rig on the front, obviously, and mine out everything else at this level. The goal is to get at least 90% inventory of just copper. There we go. 90% inventory of just copper so I don't have to keep going down there. There we go. There we go. Yeah. See, and now our base is noticeable. And now we have compressors. So that's going to chew on that for a little bit. Go back and watch our production queue, make sure we're good there. We should have enough nickel and iron to make all of our things. It's chipping away. Keep going, bud. Keep going.
Inventory full.
Okay, so that's enough to get... Oh, fog. Oh, it's raining. All right. I didn't know weather had been implemented. That's great. I didn't know weather was a thing yet. That's funny. Yeah, I need wires. I need the wire. It's a good thing I got extra copper, huh? Just going back to fill up the health. All right, let's see where we are. Okay, and wire. Now. Oh. Really? Apparently I'm full of nonsense and we need way more. Alright, well, I need to dump all my inventory then. Copper. Ah, yes. Down in the mines where the world is simpler. Where life grinds away. There is nothing but you and your drill. And of course, the ore. Down here in the mine, we make our own life. It's a simple life. The ore and the dust get into everything. Even our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But it is a good life for us. We appreciate the life. It's the life we have built for ourselves, literally. Every day with the drill. Some do not know the joy of production. Making something with your hands. We do. We take this planet and the rich resources that it provides, and we take our drill and we extract those resources. Then we give them to Sam Altman so he can make sand think. And he can use our copper to make that sand think. So they can make video games about our job. And they can use graphics cards to render those games. And network cards to transmit data about those games. And capture cards so you can capture the gameplay of playing those games. Meanwhile, we are here with the mine and the ore and our drill and our sandwiches. It is a modest life. We enjoy it. No one will ever know who we are. That's all right. Because at the end of the day, when they are sad up there on the surface, they know they are one prompt away from yet another cat video. And our copper brings them that happiness of generating that cat video. That's what we do. We let people Use computers tricking sand into thinking for cat videos. That is what we do. There, you like that monologue? It's a fun monologue. I just made all that up. Totally made it all up. Come on now. Don't tell me I don't have imagination. Come on now. We will need motors. Yep. Obviously, we need wire. Let's see. Obviously, we need compressors. We can just get more stuff while we're out here. Okay. So, this is the drill that's not done. Okay. Oh, right. Right. Okay. Never mind. I thought I was going to get away with just running the inner line of drills, but I did build everything out, so that's not going to be a thing. Okay. Come over here. Okay. Each one of these requires quite a bit of steel plate. Even with the level that I weld it, which is 70%. That's all right. Yeah, okay. Production. I need lots and lots of steel plates. I need lots of plates. Okay. Grid inventory. Let's see. Those and these. And there's an output somewhere. Here we go. Inventory full. Okay. And here we go. It's functional. Nice. Just imagine how much this can drill out, though. Late.
Inventory full.
What I am happy about is however they recorded it, whether they used generative AI, I honestly do not care. That there are slight variations of several of the messages, like inventory full. We ran out of compressors. Okay. I don't know, 50 of them? I didn't think we'd run out of compressors, but sure. This is still ripping on plates. Okay, so now it's getting a grip with motors. Okay. I wonder if it'll let me name the grid. I think it will. I think it will. Yeah, it will. Iron, nickel, drill. Yeah, base. Cool. All right, cool. And one more drill. Am I the obstruction? What's going on? No. There we go. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. Watch this. Watch this. It's going to be great. You're going to love this. Yes, I don't care that I made a crazy laugh. I don't care. Doesn't matter. It's whatever. Okay? Everything's set to mine. Yeah. And then our rotor. Yeah, rotor, bro. Okay. 1. So now what this is going to do, it's not going to change height at all. It's just going to try to grind the face off of this. Okay. So now we've done that, right? So we go to control panel. We go to your base. And we find the piston. And what we do is so incredibly carefully, we adjust the velocity to 0.03. And you would say, but Renzo, you could just type in the number. I could, but for some weird reason, that doesn't work the same way it's supposed to. But if I put it in at 0.03, well, it's got a hair up its butt. Hold on. Oh, cool. It changed. It changed. The velocity where it does its normal thing changed. That's just great. Well, that's okay because I figured it out. Apparently that's a value that changes over time. Whatever. It's fine. It's alpha, okay? It's alpha. It's not a thing that's done. Okay? Nobody ever said this game was done yet. What's gonna break? What's gonna do weird things? Probably everything. Realistically. Just being honest. So many things are not gonna work the way that everybody thinks that they should. And you know what? Sometimes that happens. Deal with it. I am. Instead of getting all mad and be like, oh my god, I'm totally refunding the game, which I totally can't. But let's say I wanted to, or like write an angry letter to Keen Software. Why would I do that? It's alpha, okay? They tell us that. All I have to do is take a little bit of a chill pill. For me, it's coffee because I'm ADHD like a boss, so coffee actually chills me out. Then everything will be fine. All right, cool. So this is going to do its job, and we are going to, because the game does not support cameras yet, we can't do a remote camera, but what we will see eventually is that amazingly fantastic round hole in the center will be much larger, and we will have many more resources, and it'll be so magically fantastical. And we're going to get to that part later because I gotta go. But we're going to time travel, and we're not done with this episode yet, so I'm going to time travel in 3, 2, 1, and bam, we have time traveled. I have been busy. I'm going to show you around a little bit. There are a couple things that I did that I had to fix and change and all that, so we're going to get to that right the heck now. Number 1, you're going to see different behavior with my jetpack here. Heck yeah, buddy. I have been busy and I made a mod. And I made the Renzler's Quality of Life mod. So we're going to go around that. I have torn down this drill here. We've put a drill in another spot and we'll show you that. Because that drill is just done. And yes, that was the one that was bugging out big time. But we have welded this. We've built some more stuff. I'll show you that. Also, turns out that I installed our stairs upside down. I cannot explain to you how or why that happened, besides the fact that I wasn't paying that much attention, and I have paid more attention now, and I have fixed that. So there's that. So we're going to walk up our stairs here. 3 sets of properly placed, actually where they belong, stairs that have top hand railings that actually go where they're supposed to. And no, there is not enough lighting in here. I understand. We're going to add lights right now, actually. I gotta see where the center of this thing is. That's either the center or it's one block too high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. No. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is there. Oh, so you can't actually put it in the dead center. There's no such thing as dead center. Fine. That's fine. Whatever. I don't even think I have... Yeah, I don't have the components for that. Never mind. It's whatever. It's fine. So here's what it looks like now. Honestly, I think the lighting is pretty cool. But I'm going to show you what we did on the landing pad. So we have fixed the symmetry of the landing pad. Okay. We moved this guy back one. We have actual lights over here, right? So we've made it, and we'll get some detail blocks there and make that look better. But we've built a real landing pad. No, we'll have to build the bases and all that, and the structures, the supporting structure, to make it actually look not derpy. Like, oh, we're just, you know, breaking physics because we can. I put lights on the tower. We still have our wind turbine, which is kind of pointless because we have solar. We have solar power. And these are the smaller, lesser solar panels. We will be putting in the big solar panels because they are amazing. They have like 5 megawatts per, right? So right now we have enough power for what we're doing, but we are going to the bigger panels, just not right now. Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to press 3. Ready? Bam! And look at that. Look at that. Look at all of that goodness. So what we did is we took the detector that is built into this drill here that you can see, and we have tripled the range. So now it has a range of 390 meters. So if something is within 390 meters and it's a resource, we're going to be able to see it. So that sound effect of, hey bro, we found something, you're going to see that a lot. Also, this derped out and dug pretty far down. Also, there's a much better way of building these, and we're going to do that. But that's what we've got going on, everybody. I've been playing through my chill playthrough, trying to like get ahead on things and just try to understand how and what. How do I want to play the game? What do I want to build or need to build? How do we want to automate this, right? Because automating things is going to be a big deal for us because it's going to simulate multiple players doing things, right? Also, I think on this playthrough we did this. Yes, we did. Is I have an area welder now. So what that means is if I have my area welder here and I have some steel plates, which we're going to use, then I can just do this. And what it will do is take every block that's in range and weld it up, right? So that's cool. And of course, if we have resources in our inventory, for example, iron. I thought we had more iron than that. Right? Because I can hold... Oh, also... Also, I've increased our players carrying capacity. So now what we can do is weld these things up and make our staircase look nicer. Cool. Okay. So the things that the mod does. Number one is it changes how the jetpack functions. And now you can accelerate to 40 meters per second It raises the top speed, but it also makes the thrusters considerably more powerful, which means you accelerate and decelerate much quicker. But it also does drain the battery on your suit faster because it is using more power. We left the rules of the game intact for that part. Number 2 is we extend the range of our guy here. Also, when we press and hold left click, we're actually able to reach further. There's an invisible sphere around the head of our drill on what can it pick up. And that sphere is larger. The next thing is if we go to a cargo, I don't think, yeah, you can't actually search for cargo containers, but you're going to come look at a cargo container here and see that 84 tons is not the default value. This is either 3 or 5 times what the original value was. We wanted more space. And it's not that we wanted creative mode. I did not want and do not want creative mode for this. I actually want to have to work for things, but I wanted to make it just a little bit easier so we could kind of get to the cool parts of this game sooner. I just don't want it to be 30 hours in and we're still not flying around in a ship. That's most of the reason why. And yes, we are going to pipe our inventory system up there with a connector, so not only can ships dock with it, but also we can grab materials to build the ship at all. So there's that. All right, so something we're going to do, let's actually get to doing things. And that is tearing down this drill system because we've mined this. Oh, I thought I just broke the head off. I was concerned that I just broke the head off. Okay, well, we didn't break the head off. So how's everybody doing? You guys are awesome, amazing, wonderful, stupendous, fantastic. Leave me comments down in the doobly spot. Oh, down in the doobly spot below, and tell me what's up. Tell me what you like, don't like, right? Things you would like to see, stuff that we could try to build. Oh, it's hitting the ground so hard it's breaking. That's fine. That's all right. Nope. Okay, buddy. That's interesting. All right, whatever. Just remind myself to take out the drills first. Jeez. So we have Mark II grinder and welder. We have a Mark III drilly drill. I think I can get a Mark III grinder and welder. In fact, we're going to check that right now. So we go to the base, right? And we dump off our mats, right? Okay. So now we go to production, and I want a Mark III welder, and I want a Mark III drill. Sorry, grinder. My bad. Okay. Fine, I want a Mark II. I want a Mark II. Fine. Mark I and Mark I. So now what should happen is it should end up with enough mats that it will build what it can. Cool. Yep. Okay. Just wait for this to finish out. It's another 8 seconds here. And now we will end up with faster grinder, faster welder. And you would say, but Rensler, why did you not give it your grinder and welder? And that's because there's always a non-zero level of concern that the game will just, air quotes, eat those parts, and then I will have nothing. And that's not a risk I am willing to take. Just being realistic, being honest, I'm not willing to take that risk. Cool. So now what we have is, or are, welders and grinders that work faster. Okay, so that's something that's unfortunate, that I cannot set this cargo container as like my default destination for things. It's unfortunate I can't do that. Because I know my system has plenty of space. It's that the nearest thing that I'm trying to insert components into runs out of inventory. Yeah, see, the assembler's giving me grief. So if you want an item to go to a specific inventory, it seems the primary way to do that is click drag. I'm trying to avoid accidentally chopping off the center bit and killing the head of this thing. Because while we have mats, I don't want to just waste things. I don't like wasting things like that. Okay. So we get this guy cleared up. Also notice how my battery and my suit drains faster when I'm using a better tool like this, simply because better versions of tools require more power. Anybody that's used the Milwaukee fuel line of tools in real life knows that the batteries for those are one with the chonkness, and that's because they have to be. I have the normal type of Milwaukee tools right now because I'm not a professional. I just don't need the super duper ones. But I can tell you I want the super duper ones because they have enough power that when you hit a job where the normal tools just, oops, bye. When you hit an issue where the normal tools just don't have the gumption, they don't have the hearse purse to get it done, then you have to get with the fuel ones. Case in point, I had to run network cable. This is more than a year and a half ago. I had to run network cable through 2 floors of my house, and I did not have Panduit, which is, or a riser conduit, which allows you to run conduit between floors. So we had to drill a hole in the footer of this floor and the header of the other floor. We're going to keep that rotor and this whole design because we don't need to change it. Let's see. Yeah, it's not really going to touch anything. Yeah, that should be fine. Now, of course, I want iron, but we'll be all right. Because see this top layer here? I'll turn the light back on. See this top layer here? And then you come down here where this break is. So this top layer is dirt, and that's where we get our iron from. But down here, it's all nickel. And nickel is great. We just don't need that volume of it right now. We need iron more, because iron is all of that. Designing and building all of that, welding it, that's all iron. We don't need nickel. I don't think for any of that besides, I don't know if you need iron for, or I'm sorry, nickel for the tubes. I don't think you need nickel for the tubes. That's all right. Whatever it is. Okay. Yes, and I know that we just ground this down, but I do have to put this back actually. So, see how fast that welds up with the level 3 welder? That's so great. We're going to swap our gear just real quick here. There we go. So now what am I changing? What am I doing? Rensler, what are you doing? Right? You know what? This might, yep, this is too tall. Yep, I think this is too tall. I do have to grind this down. Yep. I need to go up one. Okay. All right, what was I talking about? I don't remember what I was talking about. Anyway, we're going to make this work. So I will show you the cool solution. Somebody else came up with this solution. It's just fantastic. It's amazing and wonderful and stupendous. And somebody else just had a better thought than I did. And I'm not surprised by that. You shouldn't be. Let's see. Yeah, about there. Yep, that works. That's fine. All right, so then we do that, and then we do this, because I need that. And then we take this guy, and it's specific on what direction. Just like that. Okay. Okay, compressors and permanent magnets, and I know we've got a bunch of those. So this. Comp.
Inventory full.
Okay, we don't need that many. Okay. Magnets. There we go. Oh, right. Sorry. Yep. Me and my forgetfulness. Yep. And some metal grids. Yep. Oh, and you would say use the area welder. The area welder is slower. When you know you're welding one big piece like this, the area welder is slower. So why did I have to get rid of the projections and finish welding up the piston? I'll tell you why. Because the head of the piston changes the length of the piston in totality. And sometimes, which I have found, which is all the time right now, plates. Really? I ran out of plates?
Inventory full.
Yes, thank you. You are so helpful in telling me when my inventory is full, but you really do that all the time. Okay, and... yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about before. Sorry, lost my train of thought. That train derails a lot. Wire. Yeah, give me this. I think I was going to mention how nice it is when you can search for grids by name. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so I think I set this up correctly. Four? Nope, that's not. 9. Okay, so I locked those in place, didn't I? I must have. Okay. Okay, fine. So G, we're going to get rid of that lock. We're going to go to conveyors and small conveyors. Yeah, this guy. So this is another design that I saw somebody else do. They didn't do that though. 1, 2, 3. Construction. And I think we did this on purpose to ensure. Wow, I really don't have. Okay. And yeah, give me 100 of those. That's not going to cost a whole lot. Seriously, we're out of iron for that? You are incorrigible. Okay. We have our compressors. The head is moving ever so slightly because the rotor's not locked. That's all right. That's enough. All right, cool. So you're going to say, but Rensler, is that going to work? Yes. Yes, it is. So we go to DR. We do this. Set it to mine. Okay. And we come over here. So now we're going to build this thing, right? So let's see. Where can I go to get some kind of view of this thing? It makes me want to put a chair. Makes me want to put a chair up there somewhere, but we're just going to do this. Okay. All right, this is sufficient, right? So we get a good shot, and we want this on the right side of our screen because the entire left side is going to be taken up by UI, okay? So we press, how do you make a drill like this work? Let's go through it. So first thing we're going to do is just set up basic functionality. This is not automated at all, but it's okay. So we're going to say -1. We're going to press yes. So what that's going to do is force the rotor to spin counterclockwise. And we're going to leave the drill heads at the normal height. So now if we take a look at the top, we are still the center of this hole, right? But you'll also see that my drill head, if it was touching the earth here, the ground, whatever, that it would start mining because they're on mining mode, okay? So we do that. We come over there and we just double check our height. And if I can, okay, cool. So this is the top. This is the highest point on the right side, right? That's the highest point of what we're doing. And the camera will move out of the way if the object's going to hit it. So there's no threat of any weird thing happening. This is a fake third-person camera that the game engine has, so it'll sort it out. It's fine. So what we do is we go to our pistons. So it's important to point out that these pistons in these grids are always, as far as I can tell, sorted by grid progression. Here's what that means. The top is always the parent. Okay, this is my base piston at the top. So this is the one that controls height. This piston here and this piston here control this arm and how far out the drills go. What does that mean? That means if I take this piston velocity and I change it, this is what causes it. See how my camera's moving? I wish I could have something in between those two. So we go to here, we go to piston. And we're going to lower this to there. And it looks like I was a liar. You want to see on the left side, not the right side. Come on, buddy. Yeah, that's a better view. Right there. Nope. Right there. Okay, good. All right, so that's starting to pick up iron now. Very good. Okay. So now what do we do? Right now, just as the most basic level of automation, because I only have about 18 minutes before we're going to wrap up this episode, I'm going to show you how to do two things, okay? And they work with timers. So now I must decide where I want my timers to go. We're just going to put them on this tower block here. Okay. And G and get rid of those because those are Cool. And then go 6 and then 1 for my area welder. Hard drives, 10 hard drives, motherboards. Hard, okay. Mother. Steel.
Inventory full.
And const. Okay. And obviously notice how the welder did weld up my blocks and everything, right? That's fine. Okay. We'll empty hands this. Okay, so now we've got 2 timers. Step number 1, name them. Seriously. Iron. So, vert, iron, on. So, what direction is the piston facing? What drill is it part of? And what does it do? Right? So that's going to be the name of it. So if we go to the first timer and we triple click the name. There you go. So we have vertical iron on, vertical iron off. Those are the names of our 2 timers. So we have the vertical iron on. So this is the timer that is going to turn on the piston for 1 second. That it's what it does. But it's not paying attention to the 1 second. It's paying attention to the time where it just allows the drill to do its job, which is just spin around and mine stuff. Okay. So there are 2 things that this is going to do. So number 1 is we must find our rotor, and then we must find our yaw base piston, right? So if I go to piston and I see yaw base, this is our vertical piston. So we have to know which piston it is. So vert iron is it. That's all you need. So we come back to our timer. It sounds dumb and it sounds backwards, but this is the piston that's going to do something very specific, okay? So if we look for our vert iron inside of our piston guy here, inside of our base grid, we take this guy, and we're setting our piston velocity to 0.1. So if we click back on vert iron on, I don't know why, but it always goes to the next thing in the list. I can't explain why that happens. So right now, if you press start on this timer, here's what will happen. This will wait 60 seconds exactly. Then it will set the piston velocity of that vertical piston that we have to 0.1 meters per second. Okay. Then what I wanted to do is to start our vertical iron off timer. So at the end of the timer, the end of the delay, it waits 60 seconds, and then it sets piston velocity to 0.1, and then it triggers and starts. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It starts, not triggers. Those are 2 different things in this game. I have to be very clear. It starts vertical iron off. So when we go to vertical iron off, the 1 second delay, that's the default delay. That's fine. That's what we want. We want 1 second. So that's okay. But what are we going to do with it, right? So after 1 second, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to vertical iron here. I'm going to set the piston velocity to 0. And then I'm going to start vertical iron on. Okay? So this sets the velocity to 1, triggers off vertical iron off. This sets the velocity to 0, triggers vertical iron on. So once I start or trigger either one of these, they will keep working until the power goes out or until the save gets corrupted, right? But if I wanted to skip the delay, and this is the important part, if I want to skip the delay, I press trigger. So what I want to do to demonstrate this, because right now this is at a fixed height, right? It's not going to do anything because it's not instructed to. Can I get it? Yep. Nope, right there. Right there. Right? Yep, perfect. Okay. So in the top right, take a look. Actually, can I aim that a little? No. I'm trying to touch the mouse without messing. Nope. There you go. So now you can see this gap up here, right? So watch this. This has a 60-second gap, right? Timer delay. And then it's going to set the piston velocity to 1, but then it's also going to start vert iron off. So if I trigger this, watch. So now I have triggered it. It started the other timer. The other timer worked correctly, stopped the piston velocity, and started this one again. So now what you do is you come over to your drill head, and what you want to make sure is that when that eventually comes around to this, which is the tallest part, that it's able to mine it correctly without jamming the head into the ground sideways and damaging it. So this is going to come around. And I'm going to get that guy out of the way. Cool. Okay, so now this will be allowed to just do its job. What that also means is that we can extend one of these pistons just a touch. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to pistons. I know that this is the inside piston, right? And if you watch, you'll see that it's the inside piston. Right, so I'm setting its velocity to 0 so it's not going to go anywhere, right? So I'm now setting the maximum distance. All right, so now what it has done is it has gotten across the highest part of it, right? So if I go here and I say piston, I come over here and we see the maximum distance is 2.5. I'm just going to extend this out 2.5. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much lined up with where I wanted that. That worked out pretty good. Okay. So now I can go back here and go to piston and reset the velocity to 0. But it's going to stay out at 2.5 meters So I can just mine out more quicker. Because now I have 2 drill heads worth of coverage. And at some point here, this should plunge like it just did. I'm not a fan of making it plunge like... Excuse me, sorry. I'm not a fan of making it plunge like that on the highest bit, but that's okay. That just tests that the drill is advancing far enough, but not too far, right? That way it can always just keep drilling. Because there's going to be a point where all of this is the equal height, right? My apologies for the throat clearing stuff. That's rare for me. Anyway, so now we have automation. This is automation. So what will happen now automatically is this will rotate for a minute, plunge down 0.1 meters. Because it's 0.1 meters per second and it runs for exactly 1 second. So every 10 seconds it will plunge a meter. So every 150 seconds it will plunge all the way down to maximum depth, which should be roughly sort of where the dirt stops. And if it's not far enough, that's fine. That's not the end of the world, because what I can do is use the extension pistons there and have a event controller. And we're going to do that on the next episode. What we're going to do is improve this by using an event controller that will detect when the piston up here, this guy, extends all the way. When it hits 15, it will trigger a timer, or actually start a timer that waits 2 minutes. So it will get 2 full rotations at the very bottom of the piston's extension. Then what will happen is that will retract all the way, and it will then trigger a different set of timers that will extend this out to... It will reset the maximum extension limit. It will extend it to that limit, which I believe is going to be... it might be 2.5 meters. It might be 4. I mean, because that's 2.5, that's 2.5, and a 1.5 in the middle. So that's 6.5. So if I extend it out 6.5 meters... then it will be able to mine a bigger ring while still getting maximum coverage. Because what we want right now, like I said, is iron. And I would rather just shave the face off of all of this than try to find very specific iron deposits. So that's always a fun thing. So the event controller will do that. Then the event controller will tell me when that one piston, that inside piston, is at full extension, and it will repeat the process with the next guy. And at the end of all of that, when these two are at full extension and this hits full extension, because there'll be a separate event controller that's waiting just for that one specific condition, it will retract everything, turn the drill off, and start blinking a set of lights that don't exist just yet, and tell me that this drill has served its purpose. So either I add more drills to the end of the head, which is probably what we're going to do, or we just tear this down and build it somewhere else. And that way we can have essentially what looks like crop circles, or that looks like farming circles. Have you ever seen satellite photos of the United States of the farmland? That's kind of what it looks like. Just huge circles. And that's what this will look like, but we'll get the resources that we need. Because yes, of course, as always, the goal is to build a base. And we need obviously lots of iron, because I want to fully weld all of this out, because I want the textures. I want to build really cool mods for textures and add like a texture pack and everything to this, so I can customize my own stuff, because I want textures. So I'm going to be working with generative AI and Blender and MCP and a few other things, and just doing Blender myself and creating cool textures and using things like PhotoGimp is great. It's basically the GIMP has a skin that makes it look like Photoshop and behave that way. So I'm just going to kind of do that, because I'm not paying Adobe. I'm not paying them their predatory license fees. That's crazy. Their cancellation fees are just insane, and I'm not part of that. And also, we're going to start making this look better because, come on. This is so physics defying, it's kind of dumb, right? It would be cool if eventually, if the game gave us access to, or if the game even had tensile strength for materials. That way you wouldn't be able to do this. It would be more like how Valheim works, where Valheim, the basis of the game engine, is where you can build a really cool house, but only if you can keep it actually supported correctly, because the weight of something and how far out it is from its anchor point does matter. So I think that'd be pretty sweet if we did that. So this is our drill. So what we've done during this episode is a lot of talking. I showed you around. I showed you at least most of the mod pack that we have. This is live on Steam right now. You can go get the mod. It's Rensler's Quality of Life mod. And yep, I will put the workshop link in the description box below for you. And this has been wonderful. It's been amazing. It's been stupendous. This is episode 3 of Let's Play. Sorry. This is episode 3 of our Space Engineers 2 Let's Play. Let's rock on.